of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our Daily Gun Show. We come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern, and we talk about guns for about an hour. And we've got people joining us from all over the country. Angelina's joining from California. Thanks for jumping in.
Ahoy from California.
Going up to Woods in Washington State. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me, G.
What did you say?
Thanks for having me.
You bet. And then we got Taters jumping in from Michigan.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Thanks for being able to be had. And then I'm down here in Arizona. We've got links out there to some other people over on the Gun Channel side. We simulcast the show over on gunchannels.com. And this is a conversation about guns. So today I thought we'd talk about the 2019 gun stuff that's coming up. Has anybody watched the Eric Pratt on various podcasts, Guns and Gear, or Military Arms Channel, or his own channel, or any of the others that have been on?
I have not.
I watched the one on Military Arms Channel.
Did you watch it live or?
No, later. I was at work.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to watch it live, so I don't know what kind of live response, but it had something like 5,000 views or something, I think, by the time I seen it.
I like how they had a little bit of victory there, where with the government shutdown, and they said, "Hell to the no, that's not gonna work for us." And then that judge actually went on our side. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, so they wanted to ban bump stocks, so they went through and did that by change in the interpretation of laws or whatever. So then there's an order, I guess, to get rid of your bump stocks within 90 days, which is, we're in that 90 days, somewhere in there now. And they wanted to put an injunction up there that said, you got to give us a minute to not comply so that we can go to court with this. Because if you make us destroy everything, then what's the point of going to court? So they're like, oh, well, that's a good point. However, we're in a government shutdown, so why don't we just forget about all this and you just go ahead and destroy your bump stocks and we'll talk about it later. And I guess they brought that to court, right? And that's where you're talking. The judge said, hell no, you're going to, doesn't matter if there's a government shutdown, you're going to deal with the procedures or whatever for this, would it be the injunction?
And then I didn't realize that Tim was the actual plaintiff in that.
Sounds like one of them, yeah. And then there's some strategy to the court that they're putting it up through, Washington or Michigan.
Yeah, it's the Sixth Circuit, isn't it?
I don't know what the circuit was, yeah, but it was, I guess, strategically, again, like whatever they think is going to be the one that's the most potential for being a pro-gun decision.
Yeah, it certainly wouldn't work in the night.
Exactly. So Cycle jumped in from Connecticut. We got Zoro jumping in also from California, and we're talking about the laws coming up in 2019, gun laws. Anybody, you guys check out the interviews and guest appearances Eric Pratt's been doing lately to talk about the bump stock and the assault weapons ban and reciprocity and the others?
I watched the one from Military Arms Channel, and then I watched a couple other videos about the bump stock ban and stuff like that.
Did you watch Mac's video live?
I think I did. Yeah, I think I did, yeah.
Remember, people were watching. What was the chatter like? Were they just sitting and watching, or were they participating, or was there any?
The chat was participating. They were just had a lot of questions. I think you're the one I'm talking about is the one he was talking about, the GOA, Gun Owners of America.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people were asking questions and stuff like that, and Mac was kind of clarifying some stuff with him about the bump stock ban and then the ban Nancy, the Dianne Feinstein wants to put through as well.
Cycle, you get a chance to see any of these?
No, I'm aware of them, but I haven't looked at any of them. I think it's hilarious that they want to put another assault weapons ban in, just like the one they had in '94, which has already been shown to have zero effect on anything. I just don't understand how they keep beating these dead horses.
You feeling all right? Sounds like you're something there.
No, it's cold here.
Yeah. So I don't think it's done sporadically, and I don't think it's done without a lot of forethought, right? So they must think that this is an opportunity when it could have a potential, or do you think they're just plain old fishing, like throwing hooks in the water and seeing what they catch?
No, they're just taking that same set of tired legislation off the shelf that they take off every time they think they have an advantage, and trying to shove it down again. And I just find it quite amazing that they would actually do that with something like the assault weapon ban, which already got, when the assault weapon ban ended in 2004 because it wasn't reactivated or whatever they call it. They didn't vote to renew it. All the doom and gloom, God, there's going to be blood running in the streets and all that stuff. And basically, just about every study, every survey has shown that if it had an effect, it was unmeasurable. It was statistically, lost in noise. And I just can't believe that, they all know this stuff already. Why are they putting this back on the table? It's absolute nuts.
Well, I don't think it's done like without intent, though. That's the thing. I don't think that it's just like, oh, we're crazy and we're just going to keep throwing it out there. I think they throw it out deliberately when they think they're going to catch fish with it. But yeah, you're right. At the end of 2004, there was no commotion. There wasn't really any outcry because, like you say, there was just no evidence at all that there was going to be any support for extending it, and there was nothing but support for ending it. But all right, so Gary, have you had a chance to check out any of the videos with Eric Pratt?
Have I had a chance to check out what?
Any of these videos? Eric Pratt, now the executive director of Gun Owners America, has been on the last couple of days interviews and guesting on people's shows and stuff, and then did his own podcast for a while to explain Gun Owners America's sort of strategy going forth in 2019. And
I listened to a little bit of the podcast last night, but I didn't finish it. I need to finish it.
So I watched the one on Guns and Gear. Is that the guy from Pennsylvania or someplace, New York? And he had him on, and he had Eric on, and they had a pretty decent one. And then listening to Military Arms channels, not live, but listening to it later this afternoon, they talk about different things. So if you're interested, I'd suggest listening to them. They're about an hour each, and they give you a pretty good idea of what Gun Owners America, at least, is thinking 2019 is going to look like. So this is interactive, so if the people in here haven't had a chance to see it, except for Zorro and Woods?
Yeah, I just watched the Tim one, but I'd look forward to seeing the Guns and Gear one.
Oh yeah, I didn't see any of them, so I definitely will probably tonight.
But I'm saying if people out there have anything to throw in from those, because they talked about different state stuff in each of the two shows. They mostly were talking about federal stuff, but then they got into specific questions. He's in Massachusetts, thanks.
Yeah, I don't follow either of those other channels, so I didn't see them, but I did see the thing that he put up, about the reciprocity being the way to spike their wheel. Putting reciprocity, because they have put reciprocity back on the table again. So
and it sounds like, and it's tough you have to listen to the different organizations to get a better idea of what all's going on, because they all tend to say they're the responsible ones for everything. right? I guess it's just part of the way we have to deal with it. And but it certainly sounds like these reciprocity and the hearing protection are put on the table as pawns or at least chess pieces to play off of whatever they've got coming. Looks like the assault weapons ban and all the red flag gun confiscation orders that are going up at the state levels everywhere.
Well, this is the good news is this is just another demonstration that Gun Owners of America is a very active organization, and they don't take any of this shit lying down. I mean, they immediately jumped in on the suit and all of that stuff, and you know, I was very proud of those guys. I think they did a great job, and I'm glad to support them. You know, they're one of the groups that I support.
Yeah, $1.5 million, and yeah, they're putting good effort into explaining what they're doing, because so often you know hear pleas for these organizations, and it's tough to know what they're actually doing. And again, they had that challenge or that question in both of the shows that I watched, and they addressed them in different ways. Some of it was bullet points he wanted to hit, but you know, they were both just non-scripted shows, so a couple hours worth listening to, I guess. Doesn't look like anybody else is talking about anything except the state of Ohio out there for some reason. But I don't know. I'd like to talk about that kind of stuff once in a while, and I wasn't sure who else going to jump in and what level everybody's at with paying attention to this stuff. Sounds like they've got an assault weapons ban. It's not quite the one that they had before. If I'm correct, there's no grandfather clause, and it's like 600 guns by name and one characteristic, not a combination of 3 or more. So it's got quite a bit more teeth. I don't know if we're supposed to disregard it because it's so aggressive, or if we should be concerned that, again, that's a dangerous thing they're playing with there.
Well,
Yeah.
I hate to tell you, but other than the no grandfather clause, that's exactly the legislation we have here in Connecticut already. That's what happened to us in 2013. You know, guns banned by name, and then on top of that, they dropped the feature requirements down pretty heavily. And I mean, they even banned 22 versions of some of these things. So it's you know, our shitty ass legislators, Blumenthal and Murphy, they're just having a terrible effect on Congress and the Senate. I mean, on the Senate, I shouldn't say Congress, but you know, now you guys see what I've been dealing with for the last 5 years, 6 years. Very irritating.
Mm-hmm. Well, trying to keep track of everybody's plate is not, an easy task, and I don't know too many people that, have the ability to take that on or the interest to take it on. So hopefully it's something that will come together as a group and manage to efficiently get information around so that everybody's aware of it, right? Because you're right, we're seeing ripples or whatever echoes from stuff that starts locally, builds to state level.
It's that Me Too crap,
Well, and then I've been watching a bunch of videos, and one of them was about Vermont. I was watching an old one about Vermont when they fell, and Vermont had been one of the things that we can point to. It's in the New England, and never had any gun laws, and they were doing just fine up until last year. And now, crazy, stupid laws for no reason. Got to be 18 to buy a rifle. Just stuff that has no consequence. It's just there to start that slippery slope or that nibbling or whatever you want to call it, so that they can start saying, okay, here's a good start, now let's keep going. So that's
to piggyback on that, here in Washington State, the same people that brought you 1639 garbage are already going after magazine bans next, and they put the bill in the other day. So we lost a little bit, and then they never stopped. So I put some stuff on Every Second Matters, trying to update the Washington Post.
right on. Yeah, I saw that. One of the things that Guns and Gadgets, I don't know, I was watching stuff on Gunstreamer, and his interview with Eric, he asked, I guess Guns and Gadgets had been, is it Guns and Gadgets or Guns and Gear? I don't know. But anyway, he had uh, been involved with or helped lead the Pennsylvania's 2A rally. It was just the other day, and pretty successful. And I guess the question to Eric was, do you think it's effective and useful to have a march on Washington, D.C., some sort of a 2A rally in D.C.? Does that have weight, or is that a valid effort or waste, use of resources? And I'm going to, before I tell you, since I don't think everybody watched it, I'm going to ask what you guys think. Either you can answer what you think or what you think Eric would have said, and then we'll talk about what Eric said. So, head of a gun owners' rights organization, potentially the second largest, definitely one of the largest publicly at the moment, being asked if 2A effort to bring a grassroots effort to bring firearms people to Washington, D.C. would have been a valid effort or not. Angelina, what do you think?
I think it would be a valid effort. Yeah.
Cycle.
No, because they already ignore us.
Gary.
I'm going to go with, yeah, probably a valid effort.
We're halfway through, so obviously the people that are out there, you participate, right? Guns and Gadgets, thank you. Dyslexic, so they all play together when people use the guns and something, that's often used as names. But anyway, we're waiting for people out there to be part of this whole thing. So is it worth a bunch of people showing up in DC? And then we'll go to Woods.
I think it's worth it, but I'm a little worried what Eric said now, the way you phrased the question.
Wait, what was your answer? I was trying to read at the same time.
Oh, I think it's a good idea, but one of your questions is, what did Eric Pratt say? So the way you said the question, I'm a little worried about what he said.
And Zora, what do you think?
I think it's a good idea. Whatever we can do, even if they might not listen to us, we're still gonna be like, I guess, like a fly in their ear type of thing. So I think it's a good idea.
So did anybody count? Was it just Cycle that said no?
Yep.
I think
Yes.
that's right.
But yeah, Eric said no. He didn't think it was worth the time and effort, that they wouldn't, wouldn't have a reach or wouldn't be appreciated. So I guess that also answers what everybody thinks. And then nobody really participated out there, so we don't know what the audience thinks.
Well, and they, just to expound on that a little bit, when gun owners go and demonstrate, they obey the laws, they don't hold up traffic, they don't go pounding on the doors of the Senate or pounding on the doors of the judiciary, and they're very well controlled. When liberals debate stuff, they turn over cars, they beat people up, they cause a hell of a mess, and so people pay more attention to them. So part of our problem, or not our problem, but part of the differentiating factor is we are civilized, peaceful people that are trying to use the tools that the Constitution gives us to let our lawmakers know that we're dissatisfied. But because we don't go berserk, they ignore us because they listen to the squeaky wheel, and we're not the squeaky wheel.
They had that march last year that went there, and they're not showing it in here for some reason, but there's that 50 women thing, with 50 women from 2A go to Washington, D.C. Not so much a march. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, like a month or two ago or something.
It rings a bell, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think I've heard of this.
Yeah, one of the gals on our CCDL organization was very active in that. She went up there to march and all that.
Okay, here we go. So I found it on thegirlandagun.org, and what do they call it though? There's a name for it. So that was on June 23rd or June 20th of 2018. I guess they just call it the DC Project. So it's a nonpartisan initiative that brings 50 women, one from each state, to Washington, D.C. to meet with their legislators about issues addressing the Second Amendment. And they all stand there, you know, however big a group of 50 women are, and then some dudes, I guess, standing there also. So it's not like a march or anything, but they, like you say, it's more of a organized, scheduled meetings with the representatives, which is sort of their job, right? To meet with people who represent parts of their communities.
Exactly, and that I think that was very useful, because that was the whole bit about actually getting in a guy's office. You're not out in a parking lot or out on the whatever they call the mall there, you know, just making an annoyance of yourself. You're actually sitting down with your background documentation, with your cogent arguments, talking directly to your representatives and scheduling meetings with them. And I think that was a very useful thing to do. I was really proud of them for that.
Now, couldn't that go in conjunction or like coordinated with a big thing going on outside so that people, because I think there's something, I don't want to dismiss the thing as like, oh, it's too expensive or blah, 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 or it's not. There's definitely disadvantages to it. There's lots of potential for problems, but I think there's potential. And one of the reasons we have the First Amendment petition, the right to gather, there's power in people coming together and efforting. There's something about the camaraderie or whatever, the unified experience of getting from wherever it is you come from to DC. And if you're walking across the street to get there, if you're driving in from New York, or if you're flying in from Alaska or something, you're still part of that. And I think that's something that, change the people that are there, and people that have experienced something like that understand the significance of that. So I think there's something to that, no?
I could see that would be inspiring. If, even if the legislature didn't listen, you would be inspired to be a better activist on your own.
In addition to that, it was the 10th anniversary of Heller. So there was definitely a march then, and it got drowned out by a bunch of protesters to the rally that stood there and yelled a bunch of stuff. So it made it difficult for them to, have any kind of actual, what do they say, like speeches, I guess. People got up and took a podium. That one wasn't huge. I wish they would have, done more for that one. That one caught me off guard.
GOA was there, right there on the steps of the Supreme Court building.
Right, and he's standing there. So I guess maybe his answer comes from that experience and that insight of having been there to see. Maybe he sees that's a bunch of effort for people to get there, and then it takes nothing for them to hire somebody, bust somebody in to yell and scream, make all that effort pointless. But I guess that's part of the cultural war, right? That's part of the.
Well, when when your numbers get artificially deflated by the mainstream media, the legislators can look out the window and see that there's 10,000 people out there, but when the media reports to the rest of the country that, well, a couple thousand people showed up, no big deal. Again, these guys are driven by their constituents, and of course the greasy money that they get from their other happy people. They know they don't have to react to that. They don't care that there were 10,000 people instead of 2,000 people, because the mainstream media just rips the guts right out of us by downplaying the size of what we're doing. And again, it's because violent action seems to sell, and when they start covering stuff, they cover stuff if it bleeds, it leads. And us being generally very nice people and law abiding and all of that, it just doesn't seem to work out very well for us. They basically just brush us off.
Well, I would agree with you. That's how things have been, but I have no interest in seeing that be the way that it's going to be. And I don't really see that there's indications it'll stay that way. So the phones and the on the street and the the ability for us to share the stuff that happens in real life is something that we'll grow into, and we're figuring out how to incorporate into our understanding of events and stuff. So the chokehold that what you're saying there, that dynamic, I keep saying that's gonna be less and less of an influence, and hopefully this show is for a bunch of people that are interested in being the front end of that bell curve to affect change in a positive way. So I hear you, but if we never go to a rally, because back in the day, Grandpa's rallies where they were able to spin it in the newspaper. Well, we got phones, and if we go to rallies and we got 700 people that show up, and 300 of those people have some sort of a way to disseminate actual information from it, at least we're giving the government agencies a hell of a lot of overtime to have to erase a bunch of stuff. That they're going to have to figure out how to erase from all these different accounts instead of just manipulating one media source. So if that is going to be the way that things go, or we want to see things move in that direction, don't we have to be at events in order to do all the logistics and all the technical and all the networking to make that the First Amendment, the right to assemble, the free press, all that good stuff? Don't we have to exercise that at times?
Well, I tend to agree with you, and I think that social media is coming a long way of balancing that out. But I'm concerned that what's really happening is the big voices in social media, the people that have hundreds of thousands or millions of followers, are one by one, they're all getting deplatformed because they recognize that this is a threat, and they recognize that this is a problem with their control over how people think about things. And the very thing that we need to help counter the message is social media. But social media by definition is not like a publishing house, is not like a newspaper, and enjoys a very special relationship with the government, and they can do pretty much anything they want to us and nobody says anything. So, I agree with you that social media certainly helps us publicize this stuff, but the better publicized it gets, and the more it seems to me that the real movers and shakers, the people that really put the message out there and say, hey, like Periscope and stuff like that, they're going after them, tooth and nail, and they get away with it because, oh, we're not publishers, we're not managing this content, so it's okay for us to just declare anything we don't agree with as hate speech and gone. So I really do see us under attack. It's like 360. I mean, it's like we're all forted up and they're on all sides of the castle here. It's a little disappointing.
So he didn't just say, don't assemble. He did say it's probably better off to do them at local level, and to work at a local level, and to be and this was on Tim's show now, I think he said, talking about the local level. Was it on Tim's show? I got it mixed up. Rob's saying his vid shows what happened at the rally in Pennsylvania and hopes to encourage ones that were worried to go next time. Exactly. Same thing with gun shops and gun shows. You show people what it's like, and they're like, "Oh, okay, I have an idea what it's all about. Maybe I will incorporate it into my calendar." Juice is saying bag of chocolates came from Pennsylvania, so best thing that comes out of Pennsylvania, Angelina.
I'll come back to me.
Cycle, best thing that comes out of Pennsylvania.
Amish furniture.
Gary, best thing that comes out of Pennsylvania.
Hershey's chocolate, I guess.
Woods, best thing from Pennsylvania.
Is Midnight from Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
His bacon pancakes.
Taters.
Can't argue with chocolate, man. Got to be chocolate.
Zorro.
Chocolate.
Says, oh, and then we got Angelina.
I guess Amish. Amish people. That's what I'll say. The Amish.
These slave trade and Amish people? That's weird.
Yeah, I'm weird.
They're gullible. They don't understand, like, what is this? Like, just come in here and sit down.
Just get in the cage.
So they say that 10 iconic things from Pennsylvania are apple butter and cottage cheese.
Ugh.
I'll leave that right there. What the hell is
I
going
love
on?
them both.
What?
Said I love them both.
Put them together? Apple butter and cottage cheese?
Oh no, what? That's a thing?
I don't know. If they put it in the same thing, that's not like two sections. Then the next one is birch beer. Then comes cheesecake. And then
cheesecake.
Lebanon bologna.
I thought cheesecake came from New York. They have the best cheesecake.
That sounds like you got fighting words. Somebody in Pennsylvania cares about pig cheesecake. And then they got one pierogies. And then you got, I don't know what this means, Perimini Brothers. And we'll have to get somebody from there. Then you get scrapple. And then shoe fly pie. Chocolate's not even on the list of 10 iconic Pennsylvania dishes.
Shoe fly pie over chocolate? What is wrong with those people?
I had
What's
shoe fly
that?
pie. It's gross. It's like some kind of molasses or something like that.
It's like somebody tried to make a pie out of fireplace ash.
Yeah, it's nasty, dude.
A molasses pie known as shoe fly pie. It's a gooey core that's packed solely with molasses.
Yeah, that sounds icky.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I had it in Gettysburg because they were like, oh, it's like a famous, Pennsylvanian thing.
That's a thing. Ugh.
And I was like, oh my God, what is this? Like sadness in a pie crust?
Sadness.
My dad always talks about scrapple.
Sadness in a pie crust.
It was disgusting.
Scrapple's not bad because there's a lot of fat in it. And anything that has a lot of fat in it's got to be good.
Isn't scrapple the like fried pig skin and meat thing?
Isn't it
Yes.
kind of like Spam?
It's like the
It's
hard
lard,
stuff.
It's got lots of lard in it.
It's good stuff.
The Dutch, it's a gift from the Pennsylvania Dutch. Scrapple or pan rabbit is the scraps and trimmings of pork mixed with buckwheat flour, cornmeal, and spice. You mash it together, pan fry it, and eat it.
I'm in.
Ugh.
Yeah,
So-
that sounds good to me.
You got whoopie pies, which looks like two cookies with some whipped cream in between them.
Oh, is
I'm
that
more of a-
like,
I'm more of a moon pie guy.
Yeah, moon pie. Moon pie.
You got Yuengling beer.
Yeah.
That is good.
Oh, I
Yuengling-
forgot about
Yuengling is
Yingling.
good.
I'm gonna have to change it. Yingling's, yeah. I've literally driven to Ohio for Yingling beer because they don't have it in Michigan.
Okay, this thing that's called, I don't know, Perimini Brothers or whatever. It's a sandwich where you put like a big piece of bread and then tomatoes and lettuce and then coleslaw and then French fries and then the meat of your choice and then provolone cheese. And that's been around since the 1930s. So they say you usually put pastrami in there, but whatever you want. And then, but that's the idea of putting coleslaw and French fries inside of the sandwich. Are you eating that, Angelina?
No.
Cycle.
I think it depends what meat is in it. But yeah, I think I would.
Gary?
I'd give it a try.
Wood.
Hail to the yes.
Taters?
Yeah, I'd try it.
Zorro?
I'll try it.
Yeah, if you haven't ate that before, you don't know what you're missing. I never lived in Pennsylvania or whatever, but I've certainly ate that, and it's worth eating. Pierogies are dumplings with, doesn't say, cheese, potato, and onion. So they look like little dumplings with cheese,
Yeah,
potato.
but pierogies are Polish.
I guess there's Polish people there.
Yeah, but when they come from Poland?
They must be a lot of Polish people in Pennsylvania that I don't know about.
You know how this country works? Yeah, people from countries move to places.
That's an alliteration. Polish people in Pennsylvania.
Exactly. And then they got bologna, which is gross, so nobody cares about that. And then cheesesteaks, we all know what that is. And
Oh
then-
yeah, Philly cheesesteak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So what about this birch beer?
I love birch beer, but I thought it was a New England thing.
What is it?
Is it root beer or is it beer?
No, it's like root beer, but it's made out of the bark of a birch tree.
Is it alcoholic at all?
Oh no, it's a soda.
What does it taste like?
So it tastes awesome if it comes out of a birch tree.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to describe. It's kind of sweet, spicy all at the same time.
Shouldn't have scrolled up. They do, in fact, put apple butter, a big giant glob of it, on top of a bigger glob of cottage cheese, and it looks just like
That is gross.
It looks like a bad egg. Ugh. What's wrong with those people?
I don't even like when they put like any kind of fruit. Like a lot of places will mix fruit with cottage cheese. I like my cottage cheese with pepper on it, and that's it.
Amen. Doesn't need anything in it. It's already great.
Yeah, the only thing I mix in cottage cheese is sometimes I use cottage cheese in a lasagna if I have a particularly deep dish and I'm looking for an extra layer.
That's sacrilegious. I can't believe I just heard that.
Yeah, it makes it nice and gooey. It tastes pretty good.
Oh, bechamel. That's what makes it gooey, bechamel.
I don't know what you guys were saying. I was trying to read the chat. It was going by real fast over there. Turns out if you talk a bunch of shit about food in Pennsylvania, even though Midnight has a link, he doesn't join in and he says a bunch of stuff out there and gets everybody riled up.
He should do a lasagna video.
You should do food chats once in a while.
I'm actually taking the high road, and I don't have the YouTube chat up anymore.
Oh, there you go.
If they don't want to post in gun channels, I don't want to know.
Oh, that's a good. I like that attitude right there.
I do that all the time anyway.
You don't post in gun channels. We don't even know you.
Like my chats, I never check the
Let's see, President, you dead to me.
All right, so gun shop of the day.
Gun shop of the day. All right, who's got a gun shop of the day? Dun 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 dun. Let's pick. What about Zorro? To give us a gun shop of the day. What, you broke up?
Oh.
So why don't we go to Cycle?
He's faking a technology problem so you don't have to show one.
Cycle, you haven't done a shop in a while. What's
Oh my God, no! I haven't done one in a long time. Hold on a minute, I got one. I always have one.
The goals of our show is to chat about a new gun shop every day. So anybody wants to email us.
I had a newer gun shop. Let me go find it. Let me see. It's personal equipment info, firearms. I bury my firearms under equipment info so that people who casually go to my PC, it'll take them an extra minute to find stuff. What do I need? I think I deleted all that shit. Damn. Yeah, sorry about that. I had a problem backing up my machines, and I ended up getting rid of a lot of my. I moved all my photos and stuff to offline media, so I don't think I have them anymore. Firearms photos. Yeah, it's gone. Sorry about that.
You guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I have a gun shop of the day. I think it's called Tactical Cool. I can see if I can find it.
Hi, Kitty.
Hello.
Oh, sorry.
It's called Tactical Cool.
Yeah. Hold on.
Where is it located?
In California, in Santa Maria. I can screen share. I don't know if that's okay. Want me to screen share?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you looked at this shop before?
Yeah, I went to the shop before. Give me 1 sec. So this is Tactical Cool. It's in Santa Maria, California. It has an indoor range. I mean,
How big is the range?
It has, I think, a couple lanes, like maybe 3 lanes or 4 lanes. But inside it looks cool. I don't know why it doesn't show that many pictures, but typically it has a lot more. Maybe if I check Yelp, it'll show more, but inside it looks awesome. Let me check Yelp. Hold on.
Do you go shooting there?
Yeah.
Is it like, I mean, you said they have like maybe 3 lanes. Is there a wait to shoot often, or do you get in pretty quick?
There isn't a wait. Typically, I go during the week. Go during the week. On the weekends, it's not that much, but because it's like for the next range, there's 2 ranges in Santa Maria. So some people go to the one in Tactical Cool, and some of them go to different range. Huh? It doesn't come up on here.
Is he screen sharing?
I was screen sharing right now, but it didn't show a lot of photos of it inside. It has a lot of stuff inside.
I don't see nothing.
Hold on, sorry.
No, I don't think he's screen sharing right now.
Yeah, right now I'm not screen sharing. I was screen sharing a minute ago,
Yeah, I
but
think it dropped out. Yeah.
Have you bought any guns there, Zorro?
I have. I bought my AK there and my Chris there. It's a cool gun shop. Why doesn't it come up? This is weird. Okay, well, I guess I'll just show you the one on Google. Hold on. Can you guys see it now? Wait, the wrong one. You guys see right here?
Yes.
So they have a cool amount of stuff in there. They have different helmets from different wars, and they have like this for the Humvee from I think this is one that was used in the movie American Sniper. And they have like other like type of stuff there. They have they have one of these trucks, and they have a Humvee, I think.
Is that parked in the front all the time like that?
Sometimes, yeah. When it was raining recently, they don't have it, but they typically have it outside.
Have you done this one before, Angelina? Why does this shop look familiar?
I don't know, but I was just thinking that something about looks familiar. The logo looks really familiar to me.
Yeah,
but I haven't been here now.
Who else is in California? Hosh?
Yeah, that's kind of far from him, though.
This shop is about 15 minutes away from me. But that's like one of the ranges. I think that's like in the 3rd or 4th lane. And then if you have any AR questions, they answer them. They're pretty cool people. Other than that, I wish I had more photos. They have a lot of stuff in there. They have a lot on the top of their shelf. On the top of their shelves, they have some like rifles that look pretty cool, and stuff like that. They have like an aviation helmet from those fighter jets. It's just a whole bunch of cool stuff in there. It almost looks like a surplus store, but it's a gun shop. Almost like it looks like a surplus store, but it sells firearms.
Looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's going on with that last picture? What was that ejection port all about?
The ejection port?
Yeah, it looked like it had a really long ejection port.
Let me see. This one?
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
This?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just a picture on there. I don't know.
Yeah, that's normal. All right, so that's our shop of the day. And anybody else have anything else?
No, I don't. Oh wait, yes, I do. Buy things from gearwebsites.com.
I got my gun from J.M. Davis. Came yesterday.
Finally.
God. What was it? What was the auction on the 5th of December? What a major pain in the ass.
Wow.
I haven't even taken it out of the box yet. Still sitting in the box.
Hey, Psycho, what gun was that again? I know that was a few weeks ago.
It was a target rifle. It was some German thing, and it had double set. It had a set trigger in it, and I didn't have an example of a set trigger.
And you got your little brass.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to have the little brass tag on it on the trigger guard. So, like I said, the box is still sitting there. I'm saving it for a special treat when I decide to open it up because it's supposed to be heavily engraved. It's supposed to be really pretty.
Very cool.
So I'm looking forward to it. I'll throw a quick video up of it when I open it up.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Oh, I found their website.
Are you going to bring it with you when you go to Tulsa and then just walk around the museum with it so that it can be home for a little bit?
Wouldn't that be funny? You think they might call the cops if I did that? They just might. Wondering which display I got it out of.
Oh, that's an idea. Just bring the brass tag with you.
Yeah.
Mine. Look it up the number. This is my gun. I bought this at an auction. You just keep walking in and out and in and out and in and out.
Yeah.
I found their website now. If anyone wants to look at pictures from this website, the gun shop.
Throw the link out there, eh?
Okay. On the YouTube side and the gun channel side, or on the chat.
All right, so what else we got on the docket, or is that it for tonight?
I guess that's it. So, Gary's got a show tomorrow?
Yes, sir. Tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Foul territory.
You got stuff lined up? I don't remember seeing an email yet.
No, I don't yet. We'll start on that in the morning.
Now, this is a new one, right?
Yeah, this will be the second episode. I started it last Friday, so.
Cool.
It was good last Friday, so.
Thanks.
How long did it go?
An hour and 45 minutes.
Oh,
That after chat was lit, though.
Yeah, the after chat went longer than the actual on air did.
So, I would suggest checking out the. All right, now I forgot it again. Guns and Gadgets. It's over on. It's the only one with Eric Pratt over on Gunstreamer, and then the Military Arms Channel one. That'll give you a bunch of topics because they talk about a bunch of different stuff that's coming up, and some other stuff that they respond to questions and stuff. All right, so I was asking people on the gun channel side. Nobody had an answer, so I guess I'll ask people on the YouTube side if anybody knows what our thumbnail is today. I thought it'd be easy. Anybody in here? No? No?
I didn't even look. I just immediately went right to the hangout and all that.
All right, well, fabulous prize at stake here, but nobody's got any idea.
Refresh, hold on. What's our thumbnail for today?
So I am efforting to get to the SHOT Show.
Oh my God, anime.
Coming up in
Some Transformers looking guy.
Oh, no.
You're giving them all clues, but nobody's hit it yet. So, yeah, if you refresh the page on like gun channels or on here, I guess.
Is that the Mark 5 or Mark 5 from Speed Racer?
That was pretty close, but I think you copied off of Rob because I seen his first. I don't know what Gundam is, but that probably means cartoon robot. And yeah, it's some cartoon robot, a speed racer I found on the internet.
I just recognized the hood.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I knew what it was right away from that. But it's somehow the Mach 5 would it was like Transformer. But anyway, so I am efforting to get up to SHOT Show. Been there going on for a while, and I'm hoping that with this year coming up, we got some potential to bring some people together that have never come together before. And I don't give a shit about YouTubers anymore. I'm talking people that are out there doing actual stuff in their communities, putting feet on the ground, working in different ways with different people, but in addition, having an interest in coming together and collaborate with others who are doing similar things but in different places. And that's something that a lot of us, I think, get frustrated watching the news and watching the trends and watching the things come and go and not feeling like you got any skin in the game, or you've got time here and there to put into the effort. And we've got a bunch of ropes out there and a bunch of options, and some people just like to throw money at stuff. Some people like to dig in and be part of stuff, and I tend to hang out with people that are interested in being part of it. And it's frustrating when you see people who are super ambitious, and when there's nothing for them to do, they move along. And there's some potential this year to see some change with that dynamic, or that back and forth. So I would definitely like to get to SHOT Show to effort towards getting people into that mindset and to facilitate some of the meets and things like that, give people some reach for projects that are valid. And anyway, I'm trying to do it through the crowdfunding thing. So we do have products that are available. I know I'm preaching to the choir, but if anybody happens to see this that isn't aware, we have a store over called Gear Websites, and we've got stuff there, some cards that we create, and then some different products like patches and things. So if you're interested in being part of getting us to SHOT Show, then this would be the time to do it. There's all kinds of cool stuff over there, and it's all overpriced because it's not a commodity. We're trying to keep projects moving and things online and on the road in this case. So if you're interested, participate, and if you're not able, we encourage you to share it. It's a powerful tool. You never know, the person you might share something with might have a different opinion of a $20 bill, and enough people throw a $20 bill at me, I don't have to talk about money, and we can just talk about all the successful stuff we're going to do in 2019. So with that, thanks for being here and being part of the conversation on guns. Use our email address. Not many people are using that anymore, and it's dailygunshow@gmail.com. And you can always reach anybody on the panel over at gunchannels.com, community that's really just a bunch of people.